this is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
Work can be a little weird. Cringy training seminars, coworkers who won't stop talking about their plant, forgetting the mute button at an inopportune moment. We have to deal with a lot on any given workday. Sometimes it can feel hard to thrive and move forward in your career. Well, that's where LinkedIn comes in. LinkedIn helps you get ideas and insights from experts in your field, connect with people professionally, grow your network, and access tools designed to help you find the right fit for your next role. Whether you're just getting started, figuring out your next move, or looking to accelerate your career, LinkedIn is built to support you at every stage because LinkedIn is the network that works for you. Visit linkedin.com/knowstuff to learn more. Stuff at Sea is a 5-night adults-only sailing trip that brings the Stuff podcast universe to life on board. This voyage is a culture-soaked escape where pink sand paradise meets curious minds. Sailing round trip from New York City to Bermuda on October 2nd to 7th, 2026, this voyage drops you straight into the iHeart Podcast Stuff universe. On top of the adults-only experience you already love, you'll get live podcast episode recordings, behind-the-scenes sessions, themed activations, and more unmissable onboard moments. Learn more at virginvoyages.com/stuff. Running a business is hard enough. Don't make it harder with a dozen apps that don't talk to each other. One for sales, another for inventory, a separate one for accounting. That's software overload. Odoo is the all-in-one platform that replaces them all. CRM, accounting, inventory, e-commerce, HR, fully integrated, easy to use, and built to grow with your business. Thousands have already made the switch. Why not you? Try Odoo for free at odoo.com. That's odoo.com. Hey, and welcome to The Short Stuff. I'm Josh Fahrenheit Clark. There's Chuck Celsius Bryant, and Jerry Kelvin Rowland is here with us too. Right. And Dave, is there a fourth measure of temperature?
Muggy.
Dave Muggy C is here in spirit.
Yeah, I'm not sure what just happened to me.
Muggy. That was great, Chuck.
Celsius and Fahrenheit is something we've been talking about a little bit lately on the show. Sometimes we do that. What do you call it?
Conversion?
Conversion. Almost said transformation.
That's the same thing.
Sometimes we do that conversion. Sometimes we don't. And some people ask us to, and sometimes we remember. So we apologize if we don't often do that conversion.
Yeah, we're selective. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we're here in the United States, which means we're all about Fahrenheit. So really, it would just make sense for us to convert everything to Celsius when we're talking about temperature, because basically the rest of the world is all about Celsius. We'll talk about that in a little bit. First, Chuck, I want to throw back. I don't remember what episode it was, but we mentioned a guy named Simo Häyhä, who is known as the White Death in World War II. He was Finnish, and he killed like more Nazis than anyone else, and he was just a simple farmhand.
I think that might have been a listener mail or something. Okay,
so we talked about how he would go out and shoot people even in weather as low as negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Mm-hmm. And that set off an avalanche of emails from people saying, you didn't have to say Fahrenheit because negative 40 is the same in Celsius and Fahrenheit. It's the only temperature that's the same in these two different scales. And we're going to talk about why finally after all these years.
That's right. And big thanks to HowStuffWorks.com and Jesselyn Shields and our old friend Patrick J. Kiger, because they put it in a very simple way that's very easy to understand, is that these two different temperatures, they are, and we'll talk about the differences, but Celsius is larger than Fahrenheit. And so when that happens, as a runner who is faster than another runner, eventually you can lap that slower runner, and eventually Celsius will lap Fahrenheit, and you lap Fahrenheit at negative 40.
Yeah, and the reason why Celsius is bigger than Fahrenheit is because you have more of a temperature range compressed into a smaller scale, where Fahrenheit has the same temperature range pulled out over a longer scale. The thing is even when you're talking about that, it still didn't quite make sense to me. I'm like, yeah, a runner can lap a runner when he's slower. I still don't quite get it. And then finally, I looked it up on, I think, Quora, came back with the best explanation. They said, think of it as a graph. So you've got Fahrenheit going up at one angle and Celsius going up at a slightly different angle.
Yeah.
And if you zoom out long enough on that graph or far enough on that graph, eventually those two lines are going to connect with one another. Since they're spreading out from zero in different directions, they're not going to connect there, but they'll connect behind them in the negative, and they just so happen to connect at negative 40.
Right, because Celsius is each degree is 1.8 times larger than Fahrenheit, right?
Yeah, again, because there's more compressed into a smaller scale.
Right, and that's why you get different freezing and boiling points. Of course, everyone knows Fahrenheit freezes at 32 and boils at 212. Celsius is much cleaner and easier to remember because water freezes at 0 and boils at 100.
Yeah, so if you really want to think about it, it takes much more sophistication and brain power to understand Fahrenheit than Celsius.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Speaking as an American.
So if you were to do the formula for conversion, which we don't do, we just look it up and type it in our little wonder machines.
Yes, but now we can, in our heads even.
Yeah, because if you have if you want to convert from Celsius to Fahrenheit, you multiply that temp in Celsius by that 1.8, which is what we talked about was a difference in size.
Yes.
And then you add 32. It's that simple.
That's it. I mean, that's it. So, for example, if I see like a temperature in Celsius, I'm like, I have no idea whether that's cold, hot, whatever. Right. But let's take 20 degrees Celsius, for example, and you want to find out the Fahrenheit equivalent. You got 20, which is the Celsius degree, times 1.8. That equals 36. Okay. And then you just add the 32. And the reason you're adding or subtracting 32 is because you're trying to zero out both scales. You're trying to even them out from the same starting point. So you either add or subtract 32, whether you're trying to convert to Fahrenheit or Celsius. So in this case, 20 degrees Celsius adds up to be 68 degrees Fahrenheit. And then the same thing goes for Celsius too. You just flip it around, Fahrenheit minus 32 divided by 1.8, same thing. And so if you do that same thing with negative 40 degrees Celsius, you get negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit and vice versa because they intersect just at that one temperature.
I love it.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Or it does to me. I'm sure I probably just confused everybody.
How about we take a break then, and we'll just talk a little bit about why America, like many things, is still hung up on using something that the rest of the world does not.
Right. We've all had the experience of calling a business and just wanting to talk to a real person. Not an automated voice pretending to be human, an actual person who can listen and understand and offer help.
That's exactly what you can do with Ruby. Ruby is the virtual receptionist company that takes care of your callers when you're unavailable in the middle of something or simply don't want to pick up.
That's right. They can answer, screen, transfer calls. They can take messages, collect payments, book appointments, and more, all while making the people you serve feel special.
And best of all, it can help you be more productive. For example, 9 out of 10 lawyers who use Ruby log more billable hours per day than the national average.
And other professionals like plumbers and technicians win more customers while being able to stay focused on the job. But whatever kind of small business you run, Ruby is built to save you time, earn you more customers or clients, and make meaningful connections with the people you serve.
It's available 24/7, 365 days a year, and 100% based in the U.S. See why more than 15,000 small businesses use Ruby. Visit Ruby.com, or better yet, call them at 844-900-RUBY.
The springtime thaw is finally here. Flowers are blooming, days are longer. We're saying yes to more plans and finally getting outside, running, walking, just moving again. It's the perfect time to upgrade your everyday go-tos with Bombas. Take Bombas Sport Socks. They're super comfortable and designed with sport-specific tech for running, cycling, yoga, hiking, you name it. I use them to run in, and I can tell you they work beautifully. So head over to Bombas.com and use code SYSK for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com, code SYSK at checkout.
Just like the number of stars in the sky, there is so much stuff you should know.
Right. I teased the fact that the United States of America and a few other places, the Bahamas, Belize, Cayman Islands, where else?
I think Palau, and that's
Palau.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, we use Fahrenheit, and we stuck with Fahrenheit, and it's just one of those sort of things that Americans stuck to when everyone else over time eventually went with Celsius or centigrade. No one says centigrade, though, do they?
Well, that was Celsius's original term for it, but I've seen it some places. Eggheads call it centigrade still.
A German scientist named Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit invented Fahrenheit in the early 1700s, and a Swedish astronomer not too long, I think a few decades later, named Anders Celsius, or was it Anders Centigrade, came up with Celsius and was like, hey, everybody, this is multiples of 10. It's a lot easier to remember. It works well with the metric system, so let's just use that.
Exactly. And the metric people were like, yes, it really does work. We're all about powers of 10 and 10 base counting systems. So let's go, Celsius. We're all in with you. And Europe just kind of started to go that way. But in the English-speaking world, centered in the UK up until not that long ago, Fahrenheit still reigned. And then finally in 1961, the Met Office in the UK said, hey, we're going to start talking about temperatures in Celsius because we look a little backwards compared to our European neighbors. And then as that happened, countries that were still part of the British Empire to one degree or another, get a degree, they started following suit and converting to Celsius too. But the U.S. said, hey, King of England, Queen of England, we don't care whichever it is. You can't push us around. We're sticking with Fahrenheit.
Yeah. Even though it's kind of funny here, the National Weather Service, the U.S. National Weather Service, on the inside, they use Celsius, but they don't broadcast it out. They broadcast it out as Fahrenheit because Americans, of course, would be like, what are you even talking about with the Celsius stuff?
Well, not only that, I mean, if word ever gets out that the National Weather Service actually uses Celsius internally, Americans will show up with pitchforks and torches and just burn their whole building down.
Led by Mo the bartender.
That's right.
He always led the pitchforks and torch crowd, which always was very funny to me.
Well, that crowd's big drinkers, so he wanted to make sure that he was in with them.
Yeah, but he was always right up front. I love that.
So you got anything else?
I got nothing else. This one was super short.
Yeah, it was. Short stuff's out.
Stuff You Should Know is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.